Before we get into this video, I'm going to do a quick little summary of the 3 phases every empath will go through, like in less than 60 seconds here, I hope, so we can get on with breaking down this topic. And I've also got 10 rules that I'm going to give you that will help you to create this freedom for yourself that is essential in the 3rd phase. So this 1st phase that every empath will go through is the overloving, overgiving, overextending, overmasking, overpleasing, being so much to get back so little. And then the 2nd phase, that's the one where you enter into that dark night of the soul, the dark phase of your life, where you step back and you see life for what it is and for what it isn't. And that's when you're in this very uncertain time of your life. That can go on for quite a while. You might see yourself still doing all the phase 1 stuff from a phase 2 point of view, which increases the sense of dark depression. But then you enter into phase 3, which brings you a sense of recovery, but it's still kind of tricky because now you're no longer playing by the old rules you and everyone else had for you. You're setting boundaries. And as a result, you've lost most people from your life. There's this tendency to go back into the darkness, the loneliness, the sadness of phase 2. But do not be fooled by this. It's part of your empowerment that you're going to land on in phase 3. But with this empowerment might first come unemployment. Now, I can only speak for myself here after leaving my 20-year government job with the Ministry of Correctional Services. I decided I was going to be my own boss and live by my own rules. Because I had done 20 years of service with the government, I was able to leave my job with some severance pay while I figured out how I was going to make money. Because yes, money is a factor here. Without it, or without a will to make it work for you, then you will be forever working against yourself in phase 2. But so long as you have that trust and faith in yourself and in the universe that, hey, I'm doing this and I'm going to make it work. Well, now you're calling those higher forces of the universal energy to conspire with you to make this happen. Because moving into phase 3 will require that you're letting a lot of things go. One of those things is your employment. And moving into phase 3 requires a lot more personal responsibility. Come to understand at this point that this responsibility to yourself is also something bigger for the collective unity, the collective consciousness. Remember, this is you expressing yourself, your purpose, your empowered reason for being here. It's no longer about being here for anyone else anymore. You did that already. To show up for who you are, what you're made of, and that's not just good for you, that's good for everyone. To fully enter into phase 3 can be a 5-year process in the making. You don't just get to phase 3, have boundaries, leave jobs and bad marriages behind. It's time for you to face the darkness that you left behind that might still be lurking in the shadows. Your own disillusionment is also going to come visit you. And you're going to hear your own questioning voices. Can I really afford to keep doing this? Is this really what I want to do? It's too hard. This is unrealistic. Will I be able to sustain myself? This was a bad idea. So this is another reason why these 10 rules I'm going to give you are going to be so important for your overall success. The difference between someone being in phase 3 of personal empowerment versus someone in phase 2 comes down to how much you are invested in your limiting beliefs and still attached to being a victim. If that is the case, you will not succeed. If your energy was still attracting lack instead of abundance, you're going to give up on your dreams. The biggest difference between someone in phase 2 and phase 3 is lack versus abundance. Because if you're in a state of self-doubt, that's going to decrease your earning power. You have to embrace this journey that you're on despite the moments of doubt, despite the naysayers, because you see it as all part of the dream. And then abundance will enter. Push that doubt aside. You push your fears aside so you can open the doors to what is waiting and what is available to you. Then the voices of doubt and fear get less and less because you can say, see, it's working. And what's working? You are. But not in the traditional sense anymore. What's working now is your energy, your intentions, your purpose. That's what's working. When you're on a path of creation, you'll never view yourself as unemployed. Rather, you're employed to make a life for yourself and own whatever mistakes you make along the way. But what if it's not working? Well, let me just remind you of everything you did in phase one, which was all the doing, the getting, the chasing, and mostly without any guidance. For you to later hit rock bottom and go into phase two, which is a tricky place to be if not done with any awareness, or you kept working, you stayed part of the game, and then it's about time for retirement. And this is the thing. Retirement comes in phase two with a heavy darkness, a relief even, but still a regret. You made it through, but now what? What have you created for yourself? A pension plan? That's the only plan you might have. Either way, by the time this phase rolls around, you better have learned how to embrace that way of living because this is the whole point. So I suggest you don't wait until retirement to come for you to stop working. But understand that a truly awakened person will not have a need to work at all. Remember, this life isn't for everyone. Many of you will still have your ego in charge scaring you, telling you that not working is not an option. But then you are not an awakened one, then are you? Then you are not creating, you are not living. You are only the consumer, the worker, the non-player character, instead of the main character, who's evolving, growing, and living up to their fullest empowered potential. But if this is for you, and you are hearing the calling to be more and to be all you can be, then I encourage you to go out on that limb, take that leap of faith, step out on your own and give it your all. Everyone wants freedom, but not everyone has the courage to create it because the only person that's in charge of that freedom is you. We all live in a world with rules that we didn't create. Some of them work for us and some of them don't. So I suggest you make your own rules. Yes, you're absolutely allowed to do this. And that is the plan. That is the goal, to live by your own rules. So I'm going to give you a few here right now. Number one, this is a lifelong thing. So if you want to create a positive source of energy that will lead you to where you want to be, you have to let go of other people's rules. Every time you hear a rule come to your mind that is not supporting of positive energy, you have to sit with it, understand where it comes from, and then reframe it. The second thing is that the rules you make for yourself have to be of high standard, not critical, not self-deprecating, but based on the values you have for yourself. This comes down to how you speak to yourself, how you treat yourself, how you feed yourself, how you enrich your life through experiences of the arts, nature, and music. These things must be very well thought out and purposeful. You have to make a rule that you will continue to bring yourself back to your vision, continue to catch yourself in the thoughts that take you further away from that vision. Contrary to what most people will think, freedom is not retirement. Freedom is growth, transformation, expansion of your potential. So you have to make a rule for yourself that this means living in the unknown, not in the comfort of the life you were once used to. And I'm sure it wasn't even all that comfortable. You're just comfortable with the discomfort. So this rule commits you to facing the fears. That's what's going to allow your true identity to be seen. Stress is okay. Stress is what pushes you out of survival mode and into creation mode. You are rewiring your thinking pattern, so you no longer tolerate what has been keeping you stuck. Number 5, every hour in your day counts. Everything you do relates back to allowing the person you are becoming to emerge. Whether this is an hour of reading, an hour of driving around in a mindful state, an hour where you were doing chores with the person you are becoming in the forefront of your mind. You know what you want, and the things that you don't want inform what it is you want. Even an hour wasted is an hour learning what it is you don't want. And if all you're doing is thinking and reading and learning, you have to notice time in your day that you put that into action. Number 6, write shit down. Write it down. Have a notebook, a journal, a whiteboard, a mirror with a dry erase marker. Write down the vision. Whether it's an affirmation, a goal, a rule, a specific number, It's fine if it seems unattainable. It's fine if it sounds illogical. It's even okay if it sounds too simple or easy. The point is that you have to cultivate this capacity to show yourself that you are a creator. Whatever you can think, you can become. So write it down, watch it come to life. Rule number 7 is expect mistakes, mishaps, and failures. It's all part of the plan. All of these things are here as lessons that open up new opportunities immediately. Rule number 8, take full responsibility for everything. There's no other way. If you want freedom and empowerment, personal responsibility is the only way to reach this. Remember, it's not about being comfortable. Taking responsibility for things is the challenge. And it might require additional work, but this is the skill that must be built if it's not already. Rule number 9, remember, you're a creator. You're a problem solver. You improve humanity as a whole. So when someone asks you, what do? You have to be able to respond in a way that lets people know you're a creator. I'm a creator. What are you creating? You create your own reality, your own outcomes, your own wealth, your own opportunities. You create your own rules. And what is someone who does that called? Happy. You don't do anything. Instead, you are here to be free and be happy, creating the life you want. Finally, the most important rule is to stop consuming. I know you've been eating up all this information that I've been giving you. And after a while, that becomes overwhelming. So now you have to commit to creating. You have to step away from hearing and listening about it. And now you have to go out there and create it.